right. That's right. It's mask. It's mask off. It's just mask off time, isn't it? Isn't it? KanYe coming out saying he loves the Nazis. He loves the fascists. Oh boy.
You know what I'm talking about.
Oh boy.
Cockroach.
Fuck is wrong with these people? What the fuck is up? I gotta do a special stream. Hold on. We gotta do a special stream. Woke my ass up and there's about 300 million things we gotta talk about. The fuck is going on? Got the morality police gone, maybe. It's some kind of progress. Loving that progress out in Iran. Hell yeah. Suck a dick, morality police. What you think about that? Is that very moral to you? You slobbing this nobbing? Fuck you, morality police. I'm drinking that motherfucking garbage fuel right now. Completely blitzed off my fucking mind, as usual. Woo! All right. One sec, gotta fix this. Green piss, it's about right. This isn't bad. This isn't bad, but you know what? I prefer Slick Wolf. Let's switch it over to Switch Wolf. Slick Wolf. 1 second. Yeah. There we go. Give me that Slick Wolf. But yeah, while I'm doing this, take a look at this. Poorly aged things. Poorly aged indeed. Second. Add a little slime to it. Get the slime on it. That's Pounds of Concrete by Slick Wolf off the GTFA album, I believe. Check him out. Came out 4 years ago. Where's his Grammy? Where's Slick Wolf's Grammy? You giving all these Grammys to Taylor Swift and shit. What about Slick Wolf? Where's Slick Wolf's Grammy? Hashtag. Okay. Where do I even begin? Do we talk about what I did? Do I even have it queued up? That's so funny. I literally don't even have it queued up. I just have a bunch of KanYe shit queued up. Hold up. Let me get the tweet. From your boy Woke Patriot over here, linking it in the Discord. Tell us, how was your day? Fine, had a great morning. Beautiful breakfast, beautiful wife. Walked the dog. Read the news. And here we are. I talked to a fella at Tim Hortons about the parking situation at Costco on a Sunday. Long story short, not good. So let's get into it here. 1 second. Wanted to fix this, making my OCD flip out. There we go. And the role of drunk, morose Irishman. So probably avoid the wife at all costs then, huh? That's a good attitude to get into a fight with the wife with. All right, so here we go. Let me just crank my volume down over on my ears. There we go. I can actually speak without shouting at you. So Chris over here, this, you know, so many people are posting about it, but Chris from Road Rage Actual, never heard of this fella, but you know, I love to post. Yeah, look at this, lesser known Twitter accounts. It's great. Okay, I don't know much about this. I grew up hearing the stories about the rise of Nazis. I grew up hearing about how civil liberties were eroded until fascists had control. I grew up next door to a bunker with shrapnel stuck in it from Allied bombs because of the Nazis. Okay, yada yada yada. He grew up next to Nazis. He couldn't believe that it happened here, but it's happening here. Wife is out of town at her aunt's funeral. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, man. R.I.P. And disposing of the estate. Well, that's a lot of work, and I'm sorry she has to deal with that. That can be very difficult. But you know, your sister-in-law at her aunt. So that's your aunt-in-law. Well, she's doing her a good thing, because you know that could be very difficult. That was very rough for my mom when she was dealing with her sister's death. My aunt. So I'm free to play Boomtown Rats very, very loud. That's the right music to be playing when you're getting drunk. Yeah, it's a drag. Family stuff on both sides right now too. Getting old. Awesome. Well, woke patriot, you know, you gotta, all you can do is try to handle it with a little grace, and if you can't do that, crank up the Boomtown Rats and drink it away. What else can you do, you know? So here's the tweet. You tell me, does this mean Trump wants to destroy the Constitution? Let's read it very carefully, so we have no doubt. So, with the revelation of massive and widespread fraud... By the way, welcome back, Woke Patriot and John Axel. Thank you for being here. So, with the revelation of massive and widespread fraud and deception and working closely with big tech companies, the DNC and the Democrat Party, do you throw the presidential elections of 2020 out? Wait. So, with the revelation of massive and widespread fraud and deception in working closely with big tech companies, the DNC, and the Democrat Party, do you throw the presidential elections of 2020 out and declare the rightful winner, or do you have a new election? ? Okay, that was one sentence. Okay, so he's asking a rhetorical question. But the binary is ridiculous. He's basically either saying you throw out the election results and just give it to me, throw out the presidential elections out and declare the rightful winner, so just give it to me, or do you have a new election? There's no other alternative. A massive fraud of this type and magnitude allows for the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution. So that's the sentence right there. That's the sentence right there. A massive fraud of this type and magnitude allows for the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution. So that is a tacit approval of nullifying the Constitution, of going above all the rules, destroy all the rules, all the traditions. That's him advocating for that, right? There's no way around that. It's not a... There's no hedging. There's no hedging. A massive fraud of this type and magnitude allows for the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution. Our great founders, quote unquote. Why did he put founders, quote unquote? Is he... What is he saying with that? Our great founders. Who? What do you mean? What do you... Is there some conspiracy theory about the founders not really being the founders? Why is he putting this in quotations? Anyway, our great founders, if you want to call them that, did not want and would not condone false and fraudulent elections. This is it. It's all mask off shit, isn't it? This is mask off moments. Am I wrong? I don't want to be hyperbolic about this, but I mean, this is like there's no more hiding it, right? Because we've always known that this was the attitude. We've always agreed that this was the attitude. But there's no more beating around the bush, is there? There's no more tee-hee fun rhetorical games with the weirdos that, you know, the weird right wing that come into your chat. Oh, yeah. Woke Patriot over here talking about the Hunter Biden laptop dick story. And yeah, I mean, it was always a nothing burger, but they're going to keep repeating it. They're still talking about, you know, Benghazi. I mean, they're still bringing up all kinds of shit that you know, they don't care if it sticks at all. If it has literally any sticking power, they'll use it. I'm only unsure if it's mask off because I'm not sure Trump was ever wearing any mask. No, he was, you know, he was always tiptoeing around the full call for authoritarianism. He never said something like this while in office. And I'm sure he was tempted to. He wanted to. He wanted to say we need to break all the rules, including the Constitution. So this reeks of desperation, and this tells us what we've always known, is that Donald J. Trump would easily, gladly, willfully shred every tradition, shred every rule, destroy every norm for him to stay in power. I think that is 100% safe to say that Trump is, even if he's unaware of what the definitions mean, that he is 100% an authoritarian, a fascist, a wannabe dictator, a person that would gladly become a dictator if allowed. Safe to say all that, right? We're not beating around the bush anymore. I just want to set it in stone. Right? That's what I'm trying to achieve here. I just, you know, because for the rest of your lives, rest of my life, rest of your life, there will be bad actors, morons, and fucking Looney Tunes, right? That will always say XYZ about Trump. He was a smart guy, did great at North Korea, helped the economy was never better, blah, 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 blah. Right? They're always going to say that. What I'm doing right here, what this exercise is saying once and for all, without a shred of a doubt, without any doubt, Trump is a fascist, Trump is an authoritarian, Trump is a wannabe dictator. Do I have any disagreement from the two people in my chat? We've always known it. Right, but there was always this shred of doubt. There was always this shred of, well, plausible deniability. That this guy was fighting the deep state. That this guy was fighting the intelligence services. That this guy was actually going against the grain and fighting this secret cabal that is completely, taking over our government. There was always that shred. I think now I can say, I'm going to say unequivocally, right? Unquestionably, right? Wannabe dictator, authoritarian, and yes, fascist. Yeah, no, I mean, Comrade Chicken, I've said from the very beginning, Trump should have never been banned. And I disagree with the neoliberal idea of banning our way to free speech, of censoring our way to free speech. I believe that there should be a regulation. I believe that there should be a regulation passed specifically for social media companies that have 1 million users or more. And these regulations would specify how and for how long social media companies are allowed to ban people. I think that regulation could also stipulate that, if the stipulation on permanent bans from that social media platform, if that's how far the people want to take it. But I think what we need to start talking about, and lefties are never talking about this because they've absorbed this Reagan-esque idea that regulation bad, that all rules are bad. But what I think lefties need to talk about is regulating social media companies. First, identifying what a social media company is according to the government. And then two, regulating social media companies, especially transparency laws on how they ban people, why they ban people, and for how long they ban people. And this is why. Social media companies are extremely unique, okay? It's not a grocery store. It's not a gas station, right? It's not a greeting card store. It's not a park. It's a very, very unique entity. And it has private elements of profit seeking and, R&D and creating new features and innovating. But then it also has this social societal element that makes it functioning, that makes it a functioning town square. And you heard this a lot, but it's true. It makes it a digital functioning town square for hundreds of millions of people. So it's an extremely unique entity that needs to be identified as a public-private entity, right? And sure, of course, allow it to stay private, allow it to stay privately owned and a profit-seeking operation. That's fine. But the government needs to come in and, like I said, codify into law what the hell a social media company is. And then two, regulate especially how a social media company is allowed to ban people. And like I said, for how long. Leftist gritting my teeth against that centrists are being called leftists. Oh, and it's, that's so true. So true, woke patriot. Because when the leftists that I was talking about were neoliberals, who are best described as corporatists. The new definition of centrist is, of course, one that is basically fully aligned with corporate interests. Yeah, the centrist neoliberals have absorbed this Reagan-esque idea of deregulation, of regulations bad, and they need to drop that shit. They're never going to drop that shit, so that's why they need to be replaced by actual progressives. They need to be attacked, isolated, and destroyed politically by fellow progressives. Yes, AOC shouldn't be in there worrying about what Nancy Pelosi thinks about her. She's failing us. She's completely failing us. Over here worrying about her legacy within the DNC. Yeah, sure you are, comrade. Hakeem Jeffries is Pelosi on crack. Hakeem Jeffries is Pelosi doubled down. Okay, what we're going to see is a full frontal attack the next election. They will actually. There's probably going to be a plan in place in 2024 by Hakeem Jeffries and the DNC to immediately start attacking whoever is the strongest progressive candidate, to immediately eliminate the prospect of a Bernie taking over the narrative. They're gonna laser beam destroy whoever is considered the strongest progressive running against the bog standard neoliberal. And they're probably going to spend a lot of time and effort early in the election destroying that person so that they can then go up against the fascist Republicans who are probably going to, I feel very confident that they are going to stomp these neoliberals in the next election. Even though the fascists have destroyed a woman's right to choose and seemingly celebrate when mass shootings happen. The narrative on mass shootings has gone so 180 now. It immediately becomes a victimhood narrative by the right wing as soon as a mass shooting happens. You don't believe I'm progressive? I'm just making fun of you because you're walking around like a goddamn communist. You're like, I'm progressive. I mean, I guess there's a million different definitions of progressive. Well, so woke patriot, I disagree. I think, in fact, the only way a progressive candidate could see any traction is if they not only disregard the DNC, but do a full frontal attack against neoliberals and the DNC establishment. I just like communist art and culture. I don't like politics though. You're adorable. All right. Are you actually that dog in your picture? He's got for those in the YouTube there, he's got a cute little Labrador dog in a babushka hat. In a babushka hat. I think it's actually the dog. I don't think this is a human being. I think I'm talking to the dog. You want to go outside? Oh, I just look like a lab to me from the pic. Labs are usually a little fatter though. I think you need to feed her a little more. That's I got a note, and it sounds like she wants some more food there. What can I say? But if a progressive candidate does kowtow to the Democratic Party line, they will be burnified, right? Because what did they do? They kind of pretended, right? They kind of pretended like Bernie was still the buddy, and Bernie was their friend. And then what they do? They got the snake Warren, fucking Elizabeth Warren, to come in there, right? And then we heard Bernie Sanders and Kamala Harris claim that they supported single-payer health care for about 5 milliseconds, right? It was all an effort to delude what Bernie was doing, what Bernie was creating. So we're going to see that strategy. No, he's not retired, but it's a highly unlikely he'll run, but maybe he will. I mean, if AOC doesn't run and there's like literally no other, Bernie might run just to get into the debates so that he can inject some real questions into the discussion. That's a very Bernie thing to do. And we've seen that in the past with Mike Revelle and Dennis Kucinich, who had very little chance of winning, but decided to go for it anyway so that they could be part of the debates, and inject some real politics into that discussion. And Dennis Kucinich did a great job. Mike Revelle, God bless him, tried like hell. R.I.P. to a real one. And a Bernie, of course, was the most successful out of the three. AOC is our best chance. AOC is the one we should be putting our energy behind. And I say that even now, after AOC completely pissed me off, totally failed, right? At this next, with the railroad workers there, just sucks, man. It sucks. It really does. Couldn't leverage her vote for a single fucking sick day. Man. Yeah, Vlad Vexler. Yeah, I believe I've shown a lot of his stuff, Vlad Vexler, if he's the guy I'm thinking of. There's some other guy that has a similar name that I don't like that I had to mute. Yeah, Vlad Vexler's really good. All right, let's just get a couple. Let's see what mainstream media is saying about Trump. Let's just go ahead and type in Trump into the old algorithm machine, see what pops up. Kanye West anti-Semitism casts a shadow on Donald Trump. Trump is running for president. What should we watch for? Okay, this is old news. 2 hours ago, Republicans respond to Trump's call to suspend Constitution. Here we go. Where's my yakety sax, man? I can't believe I don't have yakety sax. Oh, I do. Okay. Here we go. Isn't this great? This is great. This is our politics. These are the people running our lives. This isn't some joke. This isn't some hypothetical. This is all happening. This is all happening right now. To your lives. To your lives. Even if you don't live in the United States. Because it's all connected. You're stuck in this. You're stuck in this with me. This is it. This isn't some grand satire. This is your life. Oh. No. You? How How can you be okay? How? Tens of millions of people agree with this guy, Trump. Tens of millions. Oh, God. Tens of millions.
He has no ability to suspend the Constitution. He has no ability to suspend the Constitution. Secondly,
but he says he's for it.
Well, you know, he says a lot of things but that doesn't mean that it's ever going to happen. So you got to accept exact fact from fantasy, and fantasy is that we're going to suspend the Constitution and go backwards. We're moving forward, and we're going to continue to move forward as a Republican majority and as a Republican conference.
The Constitution is set for a reason. To protect the rights of every American. And so I certainly don't endorse that language or that sentiment. I think the question for everyone is how we move forward. You know, I ran for Congress to address the challenges that we're facing and be forward-looking. Frankly, I think people are tired of looking backwards. I think people are tired of discussing the grievances of prior elections, and they want to know what we're going to do to address the challenges. And I think the former president would be well advised to focus on the future if he is going to run for president again.
Well, I first of all, I vehemently disagree with the statement that Trump has made. Trump has made, 1,000 statements in which
Could you ask your constituency what they think about? Can you ask all the slack-jawed morons that keep checking your box what they think about Trump's comment? Could you ask every single one of your voters what they think about Trump's statement? I hate Trump. I think he's a cancer. I think he's a fascist. But I can't deny I love how he's dragging this entire party into the abyss that they've been flirting with this whole time. They're all huddled around the abyss. And Trump is just dragging them one by one into this abyss, and they have to hold both these thoughts. Constitution good, but election was a fraud because please vote for me. I love America, but America is fundamentally broken and needs to be systemically changed. Wokeism is destroying America, but also America good. We got to keep all the systems, but we also have to break all the systems.
I disagree. There is a political process that has to go forward before anybody
constitutional conservatives are pretty clear about where they value the Constitution.
Right, exactly.
No.
Is there any scenario with suspending the Constitution?
You do get to pick the questions, but I do get to pick my answer.
I know. I'm trying to get you to answer the question I'm asking.
There is a political process that has to go forward before anybody's a front runner or anybody is a.
Don't you love that? So he's repeating that he actually let something slip here, which this is how access journalism works, right? Because what she's supposed to do is she's supposed to ask her tough question. I look so tough. I'm a journalist. Yep. I'm gonna nail you to the wall, mister. And then he gets to spew absolute bile, just complete liquid hot diarrhea, right? For the next 3 minutes, right? Like what we saw with Poop Buttigieg and Jake Tapper, right? Doesn't. And then what she's supposed to do is go, okay, thank you. Next question. And what she was doing was what actual journalists are supposed to do, which is, lightly push back. Oh, I noticed that you actually didn't answer my question. And he's like, you're supposed to pick the questions, and I'm supposed to answer in any way I wish. Untruthfully, of course.
Is there any scenario with suspending the Constitution?
You do get to pick the questions, but I do get to pick my answer.
I know. I'm trying to get you to answer the question I'm asking.
There is a political process that has to go forward before anybody's a front runner or anybody is even the candidate for the party. And
do you condemn him saying something like this?
Absolutely. And I believe, answering your question, that people certainly are going to take into consideration a statement like this as they evaluate a candidate.
Yeah. So this is, Mitch McConnell, like I said, if you've been following me on the Discord, and I think I've made some statements here in the stream as well, but Mitch McConnell is done with Trump. He's all of his connections are now being engaged to throw away Trump, to get on the DeSantis train. And I was expecting a much bigger push right away. This, of course, is the cherry on top. This is, further justification for doing this. The problem is that these fascists have a massive constituency that, they're starting to peel away from Trump, right? So you're starting to get people peeling away from Trump. But at the end of the day, if you're not falling in line with at least a few of the made-up Trump narratives, you're seen as, rhino. Oh, you smell like a rhino, right? So, maybe you don't think the election was rigged, but you do think that there were inconsistencies. Maybe you don't think the deep state screwed over Trump, but there is a lefty cabal. I don't know. I'm not coming up with any good examples here, but they they are able to live. They have to reach out to these people at the same time convincing them that Trump isn't the right way. So they have to kind of fondle Trump's balls, kind of like, and no offense to the wiser people in the audience here, but kind of like when a family has to kind of humor and placate a very elderly person in their family, and they just kind of have to go along with it. The family's going to go in a different direction, right? But when they talk to grandpa or grandma, it's, oh yeah, no, it's this way, it's that way, it's definitely this way. Oh yeah, grandpa, no. Aunt Kate isn't getting married to a woman. No, that's not happening. No. That wasn't a wedding. That was just that was just a fun party we all went to, kind of thing. So they kind of have to do that with Trump, right? Where they have to fondle his balls a little bit and be like, yeah, hey, Trump's great. We love Trump, but, we think that it's time to move on. They're going to use, very flowery and very friendly language to, we gotta, get over to the DeSantis train, and then, if it wasn't for those liberals who, lied and disparaged Trump and made him look bad, and the January 6th, it was all because they made him look bad, not because it was his fault. It wasn't Trump's fault, but he looks really bad, and we just, the smarter choice is to go with DeSantis. And look, DeSantis is a full-on fascist. Look, he's burning books, and he hates woke people, and he's going to pass laws that will make it illegal to be LGBTQ and have same-sex marriages. And don't worry, guys, don't worry. Yeah, actually, if you look into it, DeSantis is like Trump 2.0. I mean, he even does the hand things, So, I mean, everyone's got to get on the DeSantis train now. Like, that's what we're going to be seeing. That's my personal belief in what we're going to be seeing in terms of messaging coming from the right wing, the RNC. Sanchez just puts a nicer mask on Trumpism. Yes, but less charismatic. Less charismatic. He doesn't throw those fireballs like Mario at, like Mario, you know what I'm saying? All right, we got a lot of shit to cover. Actually, let's get one more. I want to get one more Trump thing here. I just want to get one more Trump story from the mainstream. See what we got. GOP needs to have an open family argument about Trump's role in the party. Ooh, yeah, let's get I'm going to say something no one has ever said in the history of mankind. Let's get Chris Christie's opinion on this.
Less than 2 years, y'all see where we at today? And that's because of Senator Warnock, his votes that he been giving out. Less than 2 years, this is where we at. He's asking you to give him 6 more years. Can you put up with 6 more years of this?
This is not about right and left. This is about the difference between right and wrong. I believe in my soul that Georgia knows that Georgia is better than Herschel Walker.
And here we see a pretty bad fundamental problem with the neoliberals, right? Because what is this argument? I'm better than him. What about jobs, man? What about groceries? What about fucking gas? What about saying, you know, I don't think this is right or left. I think this is right or wrong. Why not say, I don't think he's going to lower your gas prices. And here's my 5-point plan to do it. And it's like, we don't have time to screw around with people who could literally, who literally are illiterate. Here's my fully literate plan to make your life better. I'm just better. I'm better for Georgia. Just point blank. I'm better. Great argument, dude. Kind of sucks. Let's hear it one more time.
To give it 6 more years. Can you put up with 6 more years of this?
This is not about right and left. This is about the difference between right and wrong. I believe in my soul that Georgia knows that Georgia is better than Herschel Walker.
Georgia is better, not I'm better than Herschel Walker, but that's not going to get people. You got to give me something, man. Give me something. Give me something to go there for, dude. I don't care about you. I don't care about your ego, who you are, what you are. I'm living my own life. I'm doing my own thing. I'm giving you the perspective of your average guy, your average voter, right?
Georgia Senate runoff coming up on Tuesday. We're going to talk about it on our roundtable.
It's more of the I'm not the right wing argument. That's what it is. It's this terrible, terrible, terrible strategy from the neoliberals of them just repeating over and over and over and over again, I'm not him, I'm not them, they're bad, I'm not them. You got to give me something to vote for.
Chris Christie, Donna Brazile, Julie Pace, the AP's
how is she still on TV?
Editor.
How? Someone tell me how Donna Brazile is still on TV. How is this woman still on TV? How? She completely shit on her profession. She acted as a hidden fucking tool of the Hillary Clinton campaign, and we're still talking about her like she's a fucking expert at something. Man, she's a crook. She's a fucking crook.
Julie Pace, the AP's executive editor.
Can't believe
and Washington Post congressional reporter Mariana Sotomayor. Welcome to you all. And Julie, let me begin with you. We all predict elections at our peril these days, but it does appear in these final couple of days that Raphael Warnock has the momentum in Georgia.
There's certainly a sense that this runoff race in Georgia is starting to edge toward the Democrats. Obviously, Georgia, a very close state right now, but I think a couple dynamics that have been moving in the Democrats' favor. One is the fact that this is not anymore the decisive election for control of the Senate that was taken care of in the November election. And so I think that's taken a little bit of the energy out of the sails of Republicans who were really hoping that they could energize their voters. The other thing is just looking at these early vote numbers. You don't want to overread it too much because obviously Republicans tend to vote in larger numbers on Election Day, but Democrats are hitting their markers, particularly in areas of Georgia where they have strong representation from black voters, and that's giving them a little more confidence going into Tuesday.
Democrats have gotten a lot of practice at this, Donna.
You know, Reverend Warnock is running like a quarterback who understands how to run that ball into the end zone.
Terrible. You're a partisan. I don't even want to hear. I would rather hear Chris Christie's opinion than I don't even want to hear it. I don't even want to hear it. You might as well be an algorithm.
Be the first human being who ever dragged Herschel Walker over the goal line. And look, Brian Kemp, and we talked about this a few weeks ago, right? Brian Kemp, people wondered whether he would go all in or not. He has with his staff. He's been out there personally campaigning for Walker. Now, it's different, as you know, George, than him being at the top of the ballot. And so some of that is transferable, but maybe not all of it. I think it's going to be very close. These Georgia elections have been very close. I think it will be close. I agree with you that Warnock appears to have momentum. And let's face it, he came into this with a lead from election night, right? So Walker's got ground to make up. And I think Julie is right that what hurts the Republicans the most is you can't argue now this is for control. If it was for control, some people who have some misgivings.
You're just repeating the fucking thing that they opened up with, Christie. Okay, I want to hear your comments on Trump and the Constitution.
In a runoff, we're going to go.
One of the things they may be getting, you know, Donald Trump in the last 3 weeks, in these between the midterms and the runoff, announces he's running for president, meets with Fuentes, meets with Kanye West, Z, you're supposed to call him now, right? Or Ye, whatever. Yeah. And then last night comes out for suspending the Constitution. I ask you a version of this question all the time. I don't understand why it's so difficult to come out against someone who's for suspending the Constitution.
Well, obviously, neither do I. And I think, look,
that's why you got a job on ABC. That is literally the entire reason why you got a job on ABC. Even though you proudly stood behind Trump like a good little boy when he was praising you, and maybe you could have been his vice president, maybe. And now, now I'm definitely off the Trump train now. Ooh. I mean, what is this? What is this?
This has been the most uninspiring Republican presidential announcement since Fred Thompson. I mean, like, everybody had this anticipation he's going to announce. Nothing has happened since then except bad things for Donald Trump because he is being his post-2020 election untethered self. It should not be hard to say that the 2020 election is over. It should not be hard to say, no, I don't favor a revote. I don't favor the true winner, as he put it, being put into office by some extra constitutional act. This is what kills my party right now, is this conversation this morning. We're not talking about issues that American people care about. You and I are sitting here talking about this. And we as a party need to have this open family argument in the public about whether this is the way we need to go as a party. And, we need to have that argument.
So this is what we're going to be seeing more from Mitch McConnell. I don't think Mitch McConnell likes Chris Christie. He probably sees him as a failure. But this is what we're going to be seeing more and more of. But let's not use Chris Christie as a bellwether for where the actual Republicans are going to be going. He's he's dead to them.
We need to have it now.
Chris, you need a backbone to have that conversation. You had a backbone when you condemned what happened during that dinner in Mar-a-Lago. You did it. No one else in your...
Okay.
Listen, there may be some other people who quietly look in the mirror in the morning and see a speaker in that House conference, but no one else is looking in that mirror and seeing a speaker. McCarthy is the leading candidate.
Okay. They're talking about the McCarthy, Republican Speaker of the House. He doesn't have enough votes, not enough support. So who's it going to be? I thought Mitch McConnell was just going to keep his job. Is he retiring?
Let's face it, to give Kevin some credit, when he took over as the leader, they were in the minority. He won seats in 2020 when no one expected they would, and they won enough seats to get a majority this time. So, nobody else was doing that heavy lifting. I saw the work Kevin McCarthy did across the country. The guy was on an airplane more than he was on his feet.
Oh, wait, this is Speaker of the House.
People do remember those things. So in the end, they're going to vote for McCarthy. How much he's going to be able to get done is going to be up to two things. One, how well he's able to maneuver inside that room. And two, what the Democrats do. Because sometimes the opposition can make it easy to unite you. So see what they do and whether they make it hard or easy. And Hakeem Jeffries is going to have some big decisions as a new leader to make. And I think a lot of people in the Democratic side are going to appreciate Nancy Pelosi more than they did. And that's not a knock on Hakeem, but it is that she had a lot of experience dealing with herding those cats. And, it might not be as easy as it looks.
Difficult job, no question about that.
Kevin is a walking salesperson. He's going out,
she's
promising committee
again.
assignments.
Why is she talking
some
again?
Difficult decisions for Republicans as well.
I don't think the Republicans are going to change, George. I haven't heard anybody saying in the aftermath of what the DNC has proposed that, oh, yeah, either we're in a tough spot or we're going to change. I think you're going to see the traditional calendar. And let's face it, we've heard from the two United States senators from New Hampshire that they are going to do everything they can to make sure that New Hampshire is first. And they're going to do whatever they need to do to move that date and do whatever.
And it's state law.
That's right. It is state law that they have to be first. And if you go to New Hampshire, as we all have at one time or another, it is part of like your first grade education. We're first. So I think Republicans are probably going to stay right with the calendar the way it's been with, Iowa, New Hampshire, Nevada, and South Carolina, and then everybody else coming up behind in Super Tuesday. I don't see the Republicans changing.
Look, the Republicans are going to have a leadership fight.
Thank you so much, Donna. All right. Well, I just wanted to play a few of these other KanYe clips as well, just show you some of this stuff, and then I guess we'll let you go. Looks like people are, they got busy Sunday. They don't have time to be in my chat. I thought this was pretty funny. Someone on 4chan, we never know if these are true or not, but right-winger over here. The most prominent person on earth who shares my beliefs is a totally unhinged maniac. And then the usual titties. Welcome back, DCH. And then the usual 4chan horribleness, right? And he's like, it was inner circles, gay pedo, and autistic Mexican. He's talking about Nick Fuentes. No, I don't think so, Sepher. I'm really starting to think I'm on the losing side here, if I'm honest. We see these posts every so often. They get down on themselves when their obvious, fascism is pointed out and it's undeniable. But they'll be fine. They'll be fine in just a few days. They'll be right back on that fast train. I thought this clip was really funny. I just wanted to play this. And I do have some Iranian news, Sepher 969. If you want to stick around when I finish this KanYe shit.
I'm going to start with KanYe West, who, as we speak, is on Alex Jones' Infowars.
Which is like the combination
off the rails,
a completely unhinged in the things he is saying, and he's saying a lot about Hitler, about Nazis, and praising them. Which, of course, coming on the heels of the anti-Semitic rants he's been on for more than a month, it's just disturbing.
This is really unbelievable. I mean, this has been going on for more than...
I love how they're covering it like it's a presidential election. I love this.
In an hour as we speak, and we have no idea how long this is going to keep going, but Nick Fuentes, the white supremacist, is right by his side as KanYe West is ranting about, Hitler did... He said
almost literally said Hitler did nothing Roblox.
The Nazis invented the
highways and microphones. And here's where you know when things get to this point that Alex Jones was actually trying to say, look, let's not praise the Nazis. And
KanYe was like, I'm sick and tired of all the hate on the Nazis.
And remember, Alex Jones, in case you forgot, is the guy who has been denying that Sandy Hook occurred or has, and that he was hit with about $1 billion in damages for the things he said. And even he can't speak listening to what KanYe West is saying.
You're not Hitler. You're not a Nazi. You don't deserve to be called that and demonized.
Well, I see good things about Hitler also. I love everyone. I'm done with the classifications. Every human being has something of value that they brought to the table, especially Hitler.
Oh, the especially. Oh no. Oh, he almost had the clip. You almost had the clip that Republicans could have repeated ad infinitum, right? Be like, oh, he didn't really mean it. He didn't really mean it. He didn't really mean it. Especially Hitler. Oh, KanYe, no.
The especially Hitler.
Wow. It's really unbelievable. And I got to say, he is clearly, look, we know he has a mental illness, and we know it erupts, and that isn't to excuse any
from
of
this entire appearance that's what's happening here.
By the way, that doesn't mean it's not intentional, because he's been saying this for more than a month.
Right.
Yeah, he's been saying it for a long time, but
I got to get on Rumble. I have a free RCTMP or whatever through my Restream subscription, and I think I can RCTMP. I think that's what it is, right? Directly to Rumble, because Rumble isn't compatible like right out of the box. But I could just do a custom thing over to it. I need to get on Rumble. Oh, wouldn't that be great to get on Rumble? Oh, that'd be great. Oh, that's a thing that Damascus. That's a thing that KanYe West has done in the past. He has some obsession with hiding his face. Oh, whoops! I didn't mean to close that. Let's see. We got any other KanYe shit? Just wanted to show this picture last time. Last time you get to see it. Give me some tunage. It's KanYe West as a teenager. Before the car accident, you can actually see his jaw looks a little different. Maybe. Actually, it might be after the car accident. I don't know. Maybe his jaw was always like that. But it says, say no to Nazis, New America. KanYe West, I thought you loved everybody. It's okay. a lot of people, when they're teenagers, they say and make statements that they later regret in life. And it just so happens that Kanye West probably regrets making an anti-Nazi statement when he was, when he was young and dumb, but you think stupid things are cool, like anti-fascism, right? You think it's like, oh, we're going to get rid of fascism and we got to stop fascism, right? It's like, no, no, we gotta invade the Capitol and smear shit on the walls and hang out with white supremacists who proudly say we need a government to assign me a girlfriend. And also, having straight sex is gay. I don't understand. I still don't get that one, Nick Fuentes. Maybe you can help me out with that one there, Nick Fuentes. Let's see here. Here we go. Yeah. Bad news, guys. Sorry, I know you guys are, this is disappointing news for you, but Milo Yiannopoulos, master political strategist who was fully on board the KanYe train, for some reason, I couldn't imagine why. I really couldn't imagine why. For some reason, is now off the KanYe train. Of course, Ye is still a genius whom he has come to love and respect because he's a millionaire. They remain friends. It was totally amicable. He prays for Ye while he's having totally straight sex. Greetings from South motherfucking Boston. It's your boy Lenny, proud owner of a Chex Quest blanket. But it looks like Milo Yiannopoulos got to say goodbye. KanYe, lost a winner with this one. Lost a real strategist. He's a real up and comer. Some have called Milo Yiannopoulos a comer. I think it's accurate. Oh yeah, so I pulled that video. We already watched this video right here. Here's my Iran news. Let me just make sure. I do have a little bit of Ukraine news. And this is my Union news. Oh, I keep closing shit at random. There is something I wanted to show people that I can't show people. I can't show people on the stream. It's Coomer. No, he's a comer. He's coming all over the place. That Milo Yiannopoulos. So I can't show this to you on my stream. I can't put this on the screen. But I can put this link in my chat. This pertains to Ukraine. I guess actually I'm going to do this a little bit later. What am I doing? I haven't hit Ukraine news, but I do have something that's very shocking that I can't show you on screen that I will put a link to in the chat for you to see. More Russian war crimes. They're going full World War II, hanging people with signs around their neck like we're supposed to be scared. Oh no, stop getting your ass kicked. Anyway, real quick, let's finish this up. Hunter Biden. Boy, this is the Goonie that is basically the seed of the Hunter Biden story. This guy his name is Mac. He runs a computer repair store called the Mac Shop. He's got a very rare and expensive Apple Cinema screen perched precariously on what appears to be some kind of G5 tower on a Mac server, maybe. These are obsolete. I don't know the computer behind him. I don't know why he would be even fucking with such a thing. Surely this is an old picture, maybe. But yeah, this is the guy. This is the guy where the Hunter Biden story has come from. He's a trip. And yeah, this is just a terrible idea. This is a very nice screen, sir. Why would you treat the screen like this? He's about to fall. You got your cable hanging, or you can snag this, and boop, there goes your nice expensive screen. See if we got a video here. Yeah, we do. Ooh, boy. Why do they have to look exactly like you expect them to? Why does that have to be the case?
If you guys will forgive me, I'd love to ask you two quick questions, John Paul. One, As much as we have seen from what Elon has released about the coordination between the government and Twitter, there isn't necessarily a smoking gun yet when it comes to your case, Hunter Biden. In other words, we don't have the government official saying, spike that. Do you think that probably exists? Do you expect that somewhere and is yet to be seen? We see a Twitter that's ready and willing to do what the government wants, or in this case, the DNC. There's actually the DNC at this time, so the Democrats.
Why are you asking? He's not a political person. You should be asking him about the data, what the data is. Anyway, I'm not going to give this segment 3 fucking minutes. Fuck off. Fuck off. It's a nothing burger. It's a fucking look here. This is the story. Let me show you. Woke Patriot put something perfect in the. I can't once again. Oh, I put it in the Discord. This is the Hunter Biden story right here. I can't show this to you, but this is the Hunter Biden story. I wonder if they asked him to take off the beret before the interview. And the just to fill you in on what the fucking point of the story actually is, what he's complaining about is that he gave a full bit by bit clone hard drive of the contents of Hunter Biden's laptop to like the FBI or something, and because they haven't arrested and made a big deal out of pictures of Hunter Biden's cock and him smoking crack, because they haven't thrown the book at him for this evidence that proves all these things, that like literally proves Joe Biden is a demon blood drinking lizard person, and what he's complaining about, he's like, hey, I'll give you a fresh copy. Do you want it? I have another copy. I took a bunch of copies. I got so many copies of Hunter Biden's dick. The only thing that's even remotely close to a story is the fact that, there's rich idiots that are buying his artwork, right? Like, no one wants Hunter Biden's artwork. Give me a fucking break, right? It's obvious what is happening there. And there is some actually legitimacy to, I think there's one story where Hunter Biden did do some kind of pseudo diplomacy for the, for the government. I think it was during the election, something like that. So there's a few things that are like worthy of some investigation and some fees and fines and maybe some time behind jail. I don't know. But I mean, these guys are like, the Republicans are literally putting all their hopes and dreams into this Hunter Biden laptop. Like it's literally the holy grail of, liberal conspiracies. It's literally everything. It's literally and it's literally nothing. It's like him jerking off and sending dick pics and smoking crack and being a fail son, which is exactly what fail sons do. And yeah, butter knives, that's a good point. Art at the top level, it's all a fucking money laundering scheme. So anyway, that's the Hunter Biden story. I've spent 5 minutes on that story. I've spent 5 minutes too long on that story. Moving on. Real quick here. Yeah, let's get rid of this. Where's my tunage? This is a great point. So this is a group of White Lives Matter. This is a chapter of White Lives Matter out in Ohio. Is out a couple blocks from the church, with some doing Sieg Heil salutes in Columbus. So these guys are, there's probably some drag thing or something, right? But is this behavior of a conservative party that just wants their rights back and just wants their liberties back? Fuck Antifa, huh? Uh-huh. Yeah, so there you go. Throwing up the Sieg Heil. And they think they're so cool. Yeah, they're like, oh, I'm so strong. Yeah, it's yeah. Yeah, no, it's still happening. Stronger than ever. They feel very emboldened. They feel very empowered. Hey, a very prominent, very popular amongst the youth, black musician agrees with us. They really do. They see this argument against groomers as an opening to introduce people to their flavor of authoritarian hatred. You know, so they see this groomer argument as one that's convincing them. As you can see, you can get a couple 4chaners, a couple N-word slingers, you know, that'll go along with you. But you know, they're still in the minority. They're still in the minority. Very vocal minority, and let's not forget. So these are all oath keepers and Proud Boys right here. Let's not forget that these people are also fully armed. They're fully armed, and they want to shoot. They want to shoot so bad. Oh boy, do they want to fix those problems with the guns. Oh, they can't fucking wait. And you know, it's the older that they get, the more frustrated that they get that they might miss their moment to be the conservative Rambo that, you know, finally puts a cigarette butt out in this liberal nonsense, and we just say to hell with it. They're looking for their opportunity. They want to use these guns. They want to use these weapons. So, you know, fill in the blank, whatever works, right? Hey, this ideology is really down for me to do this. So let's, you know, okay, I'm a Nazi. That's fine. I get to shoot people.
Okay.
This video was absolutely hilarious. I'm sorry. This fucking video is classic.
Okay, everyone. Can I have your attention, please? Quiet coyotes. I think we're all ready. We're all ready for the big event. So it's gonna be navy blue tops and khaki bottoms. If you're wearing jeans, don't bother showing up, because if we don't match, it's not gonna be scary. If I see a bunch of people wearing khakis, then it's scary. But if it's a bunch of people wearing khakis and Fred wearing jeans, they're not going to be scared. Now, the aesthetic we're going for is Ku Klux Klan, bitch, but it's at Best Buy. You feel me? So we really need to lean into that aesthetic, because that's what we've committed to, Fred.
Right.
Furthermore, I saw the cutest little clear serving platters. They're like big clear plates at the Dollar Tree. And I went ahead and picked a bunch of those up, and I taped a little handle on the back. So we'll all have the cutest little shields. They're not actually good for protecting anything, but they do make us look like little soldiers. It's also important that everyone be wearing a mask. And I know I get it. We hate masks, but this is for our physical protection more than anything else. It's going to be a really bright day. And I'm sorry, but a lot of us are a little pale. So safety first. That skin's got to be covered up, and sunglasses too. Oh God, what else? Heath, if you could bring that drum that you bought for your son, and if you could just hit it at random moments, I think we did a good job, you guys. I think this is gonna be very successful. I think we're gonna look cute as fuck. Oh, and if you have knee pads, I think you should probably wear them.
Why do we need knee pads?
Just in case.
Just in case of what?
No, just in case.
just in case we want to have a big gay orgy, suck each other's dicks. You know, it might happen. It could happen. It could happen. It could happen. I'm just saying it could happen. Saying. All right. Last little bit of news before we get to the Iranian news and then the Ukrainian news. But hey, good news. I got some good news. 2 days in a row, I got good news. This is good news. All right. This goes back to exactly what I'm talking about. Okay. The only way we, the people, are going to get any kind of political progress, and I'm talking any kind of political progress, it's with following the 3-step program, aka political activism. Joining a union, joining a protest, joining a movement, Extinction Rebellion, whatever it is. It is the only way we will get these billion-dollar oligarchs to bend. There is no other solution other than leveraging our labor and our collective power to get them to change their mind. If we continue to acquiesce to their abuse, they will continue to abuse, and they will continue to convince themselves that what they're doing is not only good, but they are actually the correct and this is like the moral decision, right? This is good and moral. That's what they do. You think Jeff Bezos considers himself to be an oligarch, even though he's one of the richest motherfuckers on the planet? You think he considers himself an oligarch, even though he is so 100% clearly is? Of course he doesn't. He thinks he can try to, he might be able to live forever. 2, he thinks, that the more profit, the more money he makes, the larger his empire gets, the more good he's going to do. The more power and wealth you give me, the more I will shave off and give to the people who need it the most. And I know who needs it the most. I'm Jeff Bezos. I built Amazon. I'm a bazillionaire. That means I know exactly what I'm doing. Okay? The only way we're going to win against these sociopathic maniacs is meeting them in the streets and leveraging our labor. Hitting them where it hurts, and that's in the pocket. Okay, it's not in the chrome dome, and it ain't in the chrome balls. You know he upgraded. Okay? That's not where you hit them. Let me tell you, they get up and pay attention when their wallet starts getting lighter. They start sitting up and really paying attention when that wallet starts getting hit. So here we have, great example, your boy Christian Smalls, leader of the Amazon Labor Union, president of the Amazon Labor Union, first independent worker-led union in American history for Amazon. The man is relentless. The man is articulate. The man is poignant. He goes after the jugular. He doesn't waste time, and he doesn't let the capitulators drag him down. He will freely and openly criticize AOC for what he perceived to be as a slight. Oh, I'll give you my support 5 seconds before the election's over when you've clearly won. Here we got a tweet from Christian Smalls. For the first time in history, a federal judge ruled that Amazon cease and desist all illegal union busting. The ruling has been enforced by the NLRB. Thanks to our historical victory at JFK 8 Staten Island, Amazon management had to read the 30-page ruling to all 8,300 members. And here we have just 6 minutes of it. This took 3 hours.
Petitioner against Amazon.com Services, LLC. Memorandum in order 22-CV-0179.
Get used to it, Bezos. Get used to it, Starbucks. Get used to it, Walmart. Get used to it, McDonald's. You better start hiding those profits. You better stop making those announcements. You better stop putting your ass on the cover of Forbes magazine and claiming you're a goddamn genius, because the only thing you innovate in is exploitation. The only thing you've innovated at is making sure people have to, defecate within 5 minutes or lose their job. Congratulations. You're a complete asshole. Thanks for Twitch. Moving on to Iran. Ooh, that sounds good. Moving on to Iran. Going down to the clown. Man, I'm not very good at this. I'm not very good at improving. All right, Iran. Iran is green. What is it? Green, red. Iran colors. Yeah, green, red, and white. Green, red, and we'll get the white. I love doing this. It's so much fun. Get the correct colors on the logo there down there. It's cool. All right. Another victory. Once again, another victory for political activism. Another victory for political activism, folks. Hit them where it hurts. Oh, we can't do it. We'll never do it. We'll never change. It'll never happen. Stop protesting. Stop. We'll kill you. How many we got to kill before, give up. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. No more morality, please. Okay, fine. It works. Political activism works. It works.
News from Iran.
Period.
Local media are.
Don't give me your diet solutions. Don't give me your social media posting. Get your fucking ass in the streets. It works.
And we begin with breaking news from Iran, where local media are reporting the country has abolished its morality police. The announcement comes after months of nationwide demonstrations triggered by the arrest of Jina Mahsa Amini. The young woman died after being taken to police custody for violating Iran's strict female dress code. Iran's attorney general told a major state news agency that, quote, morality police have nothing to do with the judiciary. We'll bring more on this story during the course of the day. But for now, let's bring in Kamran Matin. He is a senior lecturer on international relations at the University of Sussex. What are we to make of this announcement, sir?
Well, first of all, I would issue a note of caution initially about the announcement because
this is a classic dictator technique. Oh, we're going to give you what you want. Everyone goes home, and then nothing changes.
Attorney General said the so-called morality police was not part of the judiciary system. It wasn't an organ of the judiciary. It was actually part of the so-called law enforcement forces or, police force. Such an announcement should really be announced by that institution, and that hasn't happened yet. And secondly, since the protests began after the killing of Mahsa Amini, these morality police patrols have de facto ceased because of the situation. So they really haven't been in operation the last 2-3 months anyways. So I think until the government formally announces this, we have to treat this with caution. But what is clear is that the government pursues two policies simultaneously, it seems. On the one hand, it has increased the crackdown, issuing death sentences against those they have arrested during the protests, increasing military presence in certain areas such as Kurdistan and Baluchistan. At the same time, they are signaling certain messages about flexibility or adaptability of the Islamic Republic towards certain policies, including the so-called hijab policy. So they are hoping this combination of the two, the stick and the carrot, might bring the protest to an end.
So it's not quite perhaps a victory. Is it likely to stop the protests, do you think, though?
Well, the very fact that for the first time, really, Islamic Republic announcing such approach is in itself quite a significant victory because the regime is really not used to making concessions to protests.
Equaldari, you make a good point. Without the morality police, how are we going to know what's right and what's wrong? I need an overbearing 50-year-old man who's been deputized by the government to harass me into compliance with God's will. What am I supposed to do? This is like when they change the laws in a state that you're not allowed to pump your own gas. Now I got to pump my own gas. What the hell is going on? This is completely unsafe. What now? I'm supposed to just figure out by myself what's right and what's wrong? Come on, man. I need an instruction manual and I need someone to facilitate the instructions. Please. Life is what you make it. No, life is what is following a very strict set of rules that was set in place hundreds of years ago by people who have no idea what society looks like now. That's what life is.
So in that sense, I think the protests have already actually achieved something quite significant. But I'm not sure actually this will bring the protests to a halt. In fact, One reason such announcements might be made is that people, organizations of civil society, protesters have announced that they will.
That's so funny. That woman walking by, she's just on her way to work, and she's inadvertently in a news interview with DW. Isn't that wild? She had no idea that she was in a news interview with DW that day. That's just, life is funny.
Protesters have announced that they will have a 3 days of action on the 5th, 6th, and 7th of December in over the course of the coming week. And maybe the government is trying to somehow preempt this by announcing such decisions to kind of discourage people from coming to the streets, saying that what you want is already being discussed or is going to be implemented. But
yeah.
I think those 3 days are crucial in assessing whether the protest movement is going to have the momentum it has had thus far.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for that insight, Cameron Martin.
He's living over there in Brighton. Man, Brighton looks beautiful. Look at what a nice little house he's got here. He's got a nice little yard. Man, I bet it's beautiful. I bet it's beautiful. Someone dox him so I can see the outside of his house. You know Reddit could. I mean, you internet weirdos could absolutely, you could have this done in 5 minutes. All right, the last little article here pertaining to Iran. Just a little bit more, about just some details about the story. Iran has abolished its morality police. AFP reported citing Iran's Attorney General Mohammad Jafar Montazeri. This comes after the ongoing protests erupted across the country about the deaths of Masha Amini 2 months ago, who was arrested by Iranian morality police for allegedly violating Iran's strict dress code for women. Iran's morality police, the morality police, also known as the Guidance Patrol, were founded in 2005. Wow, it's actually relatively new, under the administration of President Mohammed Ahmadinejad. Oh my God, that's a name. Woo, that's a name. I haven't heard that one in a minute. Remember this guy during the Bush administration? During the Bush administration, this guy was literally enemy number one. You could not get mainstream media to stop talking about this guy. And then he just falls off the face of the earth, dude. Ahmadinejad, or however the fuck you say it. Let me see if I can say it. Mohammed Ahmadinejad. I can't say it correctly. I'm too much of a Yankee. Let's get it correctly here. Pronunciation.
Ahmadinejad.
Yeah, Ahmadinejad. There we go. Ahmadinejad. Remember this guy? Does anyone remember this guy during the Bush administration? Oh, man. Mohammed Ahmadinejad. And serve as a religious police. So he put that in place. Makes perfect sense. Reporting directly to the Supreme Leader, Al-Khamenei. Typical unit consists of a van with a mixed male and female crew that patrols or waits as a busy public spaces to police behavior and dress considered improper. So they just hang out in vans, waiting to jump and harass people. Isn't that great? What a fun job. What a fun job. You think Ron DeSantis might be interested in some kind of morality police? That kind of seems up the Republicans' alley, doesn't it? Some kind of morality police. What would they call it? What would they call it, I wonder? MAGA Patrol? David Letterman tried to say his name for a week and finally got it correct. He just needed to go to Google, which didn't exist back when, I guess Google did exist, but it was a little bit more rudimentary back then. In an anonymous interview with BBC, one officer spoke plainly about his work as a member of the morality police. They told us the reason we are working for the morality police units is to protect women, he said, because if they do not dress properly, then men could get provoked to harm them. Don't you love that? Don't you love that? Talk about having such little respect for your fellow man that you think that literally, if I leave you in the same room with my wife, daughter, sister, whatever, you will immediately rape them if they're not fully covered. The officer told the BBC that he found it especially difficult when citizens resisted arrest. They expect us to force them inside the van. Do you know how many times I was in tears while doing it? Oh, feels so bad. Oh, they weren't kidnapped willingly. They weren't kidnapped and arrested willingly because they had a little strand of hair sticking down. I was in tears when I was shoving them into the van so that they would go back to the police station and get raped and beaten. I was so sad. I want to tell them I am not one of them. Most of us are ordinary soldiers going through a mandatory military service. I feel so bad. Didn't feel bad enough to not do it, huh? Guess the extra, what, $2-3, whatever the fuck, right? Because they have to pay these guys a little bit more than average, but not much more than average, right? You get a little extra dosh. Not much. Not much. It's better than a burger flipper, right? But you're not making real money. Motherfucker, find a different job. Oh, feel so bad for me. Oh, I had to oppress my fellow people and I did it the whole time. Quit your job. Quit. That's the moral thing to do. The moral thing to do isn't to do your job while crying and cash in that paycheck and then crying to fucking the Jerusalem Post. I felt so bad. Hogwash. All right, and we got just a sprinkle of Ukrainian news here. Let's go ahead and get to that. It's a quick one. I got shit to do today. I saw, Trump calling for the, destruction of our Constitution, and it's not like I'm going to let that fucking sit. But I do have shit I got to do today, so no big long stream today, folks, unfortunately. All right, I'm sorry. What do you want? What do you want from me? Buy more blankets. What do you want? More streams? Buy more blankets. I got 600 blankets for me to pay rent. Motherfuckers used to buy blankets all the time. No one needs a blanket. It's winter. Gotta buy some blankets. Stop booing me. We want garbage fuel. Garbage fuel is locally sourced. Just go to your local dumpster and, take a little sledge, crack open the bottom left or right corner, depending on where it's leaning, and fresh garbage juice, baby. Russian convict who received sentence for stealing a lamb, the animal, was recruited by Wagner PMC. From his unit, he was the only one who remains alive. Oof. Oof. And Wagner's supposed to be some of the best. These guys are supposed to be some of the hardest of hardcore, eat metal, chew, spit nails kind of motherfuckers, right? And it looks like they're pulling in conscripts. Looks like they're pulling in young guys that are not really prepared for this shit. Does this guy look like a Spetsnaz, fully trained, suited and booted? This guy looks like he's gonna fix my computer. Right?
За что вы сидели? 158-я, третья, это кража. А что вы украли? Барашек. Прилетел представитель, собрал весь народ, сказал нападение там на Крымский мост.
Вау.
Надо защищать там, направленность Бахмут. Я сказал, мама, я еду служить в ЧВК Вагнер. Сказала, ты полный.
Whoa! That's a new one. That's a fucking new one.
Ну, а в таких вот обижен, как говорится, петухи. Он представитель сказал, за ним другой петух приедет. Говорили, кто будет отступать, мы сразу будем в спину стрелять. Их за 200. Из них один и я остался.
Wow.
За что вы сидите?
Wow. They're all dead. These are the people that he was talking about that told him, all these things. These quote unquote offended, as we say, the cocks. The rep said that another cock will come for them. What? Is he saying? I told her, wait, Bakhmut direction said there was an attack. The oh, okay. So it wasn't his mother, Cox, because the founder of Wagner PMC used to be Putin's private chef. Yes. Oh, the cooks. The representative arrived, collected everyone, said there was an attack in Crimean Bridge, needed defending. Bakhmut direction. I told her, Mom, I'm going to serve in Wagner PMC. She said, you are a total cretin. I don't understand Russia. Bro, I don't get this place. It seems utterly miserable. Yeah, suit up. You're gonna go die for nothing. Yeah, and you're gonna love it. Bye. That's what it feels like. I mean, it just. I don't get it. It's amazing to me how different cultures and different societies can have just such wildly different expectations of the world around them and the governments that they employ. It's totally nuts to me. The idea that Russians could have more seems to be completely foreign to them. It seems completely wildly outside of expectations that these people could be getting anything more from their government. Except scorn and you know at best you know a mild like, what's the word I'm even looking for, like just tolerance, at best a mild tolerance of their existence. It's bizarre. It's so weird. I mean, because in the United States, you know, Joe Biden at least has to pretend like he cares. You know, he's got to pretend that he's sad that all these soldiers die at the illegal wars that he started, including his son. What's the punishment for stealing a lamb? Well, I guess, is that it? Is that why he was called a total cretin? Because he was a thief? I don't know. What are you sentenced for? Theft? What'd you steal? Representative arrived, collected everyone. Okay, so he was in jail. He was busted for stealing. A government representative arrived, scooped him up, said, "We got to defend the Crimean Bridge. We got to go to Bakhmut." Not exactly the Crimean Bridge. I told her, "Mom, I'm going to serve in the Wagner PMC." She said, "You're a total cretin." I don't get it. Is that his mother or is that the lady? I don't know. Amazing footage here. Helicopter getting shot square out of the sky. There it is right there. Ooh. Ooh, and there it goes. Oh, that's a dead drop. Oh, goddamn. God damn, dude, that was brutal. Is that another javelin? K-52. Oof. I mean, look at that, dude. It hit something really like it hit like does it explode above? Does the ordnance explode above the helicopter? Yeah, look at that. Seems to explode above it, throwing, you know, because that's where it's most vulnerable, right? A lot of these ordinances a lot of these smart missiles and stuff will blow up above the target. Hits it, boom, ignites something. And it looks like whatever it ignites is actually exploding downwards. It's still holding itself up in the air. Moving forward. The guy wigs out. Great camera work, my dude. And it's already dropping out of the sky. Yep. Complete system failure immediately. God damn, dude. And there it goes. Just oof. Oof. That's just fucking brutal, dude. Let's not get it twisted, though. This shit is happening to Ukrainians as well. So the fact that Putin has you know, committed this war against the Ukrainian people is just disgusting. Russia will not export oil subject to Western price cap. Oh, really, John Axel? Thank you for the link, by the way. This is relevant news. So just 3 minutes ago, John Axel over here, Johnny on the goddamn spot. Russia will not export oil subject to Western price cap, Deputy Prime Minister said. Really? I mean, please. Fine, let's get this war wrapped up, you know, in the next couple months. Let's go for it. Right? Russia, the world's second largest oil exporter, will not sell oil that is subject to a Western price cap, even if it has to cut production, Vladimir Putin's point man on energy said. The Group of Seven and Australia on Friday agreed to a $60 per barrel price cap on Russian seaborne crude oil after European Union members overcame resistance from Poland. Interesting. Interesting. This shows you just how important energy is. Shows you just how important oil is. Still, right? Look at this. Poland coming out with no one hates Russia more than Poland, dude. No one hates Russia more than Poland. And look at them come out here, and they're like, I don't know, man. We got to keep our houses, heated up, man. Doesn't matter. India will buy it at salt, a massive discount at all of it, and then resell to Europe. You think so? Yeah. The move by the West to prohibit shipping, insurance, and reinsurance companies from handling cargoes of Russian crude above the cap is an attempt to punish Putin for the Ukraine conflict. Russian Deputy Prime Minister Alexander Novak said on Sunday the move by the West was a gross interference which contradicted the rules of free trade and would destabilize global energy markets by triggering a shortage of supply. Quote, we are working on mechanisms to prohibit the use of a price cap instrument, regardless of what level is set, because such interference could further destabilize the market. Only for one country, said Novak, who is the Russian government official in charge of the country's oil, gas, atomic energy, and coal. Quote, we will sell oil and petroleum products only to these countries that will work with us under market conditions, even if we have to reduce production a little. He said as he slipped off the balcony. Novak said the Western cap could trigger trouble in the products market and could affect other countries besides Russia. Frozen. It is unclear what, if any, immediate impact the Western cap will have on Russian oil flows because the discounted price to Brent for Russian blends has widened so significantly. Urlaz blend, what are we talking about? Coffee? Is this gas? What the fuck are we talking about? Was trading at around 61.3 per barrel, just over $1 above the price cap. Brent crude futures closed at 85.57 cents per barrel on Friday, so $85.57. Selling oil and gas to Europe has been one of the main sources of for Russian foreign currency earnings since Soviet geologists found oil and gas in the swamps of Siberia in the decades after World War II. Oh, I bet they were tickled pink at that. They found that Texas tea, bubbling oil. They found it in the swamps of Siberia. A source who has not to be identified due to the sensitivity of the situation told Reuters that a decree was being prepared to prohibit Russian companies and traders from interacting with countries and companies guided by the cap. In essence, such a decree would ban the export of oil and petroleum products to countries and companies that apply it. Since he ordered the February 24th military operation in Ukraine, Putin says the United States and its allies have embarked on economic war against Russia with the most severe sanctions in modern history, warning that they will face an energy crisis. And this is what he's expecting, and he might be right. Putin in September warned the West that he could cut off energy supplies if price caps were imposed, telling them that Europe would be frozen like a wolf's tail in a well-known Russian fairy tale. Oh, we're so fucking scared, right? Here's the thing, though, and here's the thing that Putin wasn't calculating on. Europe and the Western allies are using this as they're ripping the Band-Aid off. They're using this as the excuse to, like, okay, yes, we're going to suffer, for the next couple of years, but we're doing it. We're going to pull the trigger. We're going to reduce our dependence on Russian oil. We're going to stop giving this, tin pot dictator, the time that he desperately needs and the money that he desperately needs to hold his shitty little country together. And yeah, we are gonna run into an energy crisis. People are gonna pay more. We're gonna have to subsidize and tax break and do all kinds of fun maneuvering to keep this price low for now, while we set up new trade deals and basically create a whole energy trading market that excludes Russia. And let me tell you, do you think China is going to want to be part of this? You betcha. You betcha. You betcha. Right? So that's what Putin wasn't planning on. He wasn't planning on this being a unifier for the Western alliances. And that's exactly what it's been. It's been a catalyst for okay, yep, but in a bizarre twist of fate, Trump being totally right at the UN, making that speech to Germany about overdependence on Russian oil. I can't get over the I can't get over that. I just can't get over that. Russia can access enough tankers to ship most of its oil beyond the reach of the new G7 price cap. Industry players and a U.S. official told Reuters in October, underscoring the limits of the most ambitious plan yet to curb Moscow's wartime revenue. I see. So they're not gonna follow. They're not gonna. But look, I mean, they're losing customers. This is not good, right? They'll be able to get by, and like Davey said, India will be a major buyer. It can't last forever. All right, it's one more nail in the coffin. One more strand of straw on the straw bale. So there you go, folks. Trump wants to destroy the Constitution. He says, to hell with the Constitution. If that means I don't get to keep power, then fuck the Constitution. KanYe West loves everybody, especially Hitler. The morality police are maybe gone. We'll see. Could be a feint. And Putin is going to have to find new fancy ways to move his oil around because it's getting harder and harder to sell. There you go. There's the news for today. You're done. Go out and touch grass or whatever they say, the kids say. And go work on the garage. Making that newsroom. Gonna have a newsroom. Yeah. Bunch of TVs and shit or something everywhere. I'm just gonna have just a bunch of shit. Gonna be a lot of fun. Did you link the pictures? Oh, that's right. Thank you, Davey. Davey over here. Yeah. So if you do want to see evidence, clear evidence of Russian barbarity, here you are. I can't show them on stream, but here they are. As you can see here, it's not 100% confirmed yet, but by this time, I don't think Ukraine is in the habit of staging dead bodies and doing all the things that they're accused of, like in Bucha, of them like killing their own people or taking their own people's dead bodies and staging them in things. I don't think Ukraine does that. This looks legitimate, and this just harkens right back to World War II. Hanging citizens that are deemed as traitors, to the invading army. As you can see, some of them are very brutal. There's that one with the man on the right with blood flowing, probably from his mouth, probably from his orifices there. It's just terrible. Oh wait, the tweet didn't actually go through. Hold on, the link didn't go through. Restream didn't send it. There you go. Sorry. There you go. Now you can see it. But if neither Russia or Saudi are complying, then who will supply the oil to the West? You do realize, Shorty, get to twitching. You do realize that Russia isn't the only source of oil on the planet, right? One of the main reasons why Russia was, consistently depended on for energy was because it would sell its oil at a bargain basement discount price as compared to the West, because they have so much of it. They still do. Russia has a lot of oil. So there you go, folks. Clear evidence of Russian war crimes. They're getting very desperate. They're doubling and tripling down on a strategy that has historically never worked, which is terrorizing the population in an attempt to change the frontline battlefield situation, right? To basically break the morale of the Ukrainian troops by torturing and destroying and killing the civilians that they're fighting so hard to protect. Theoretically, it's supposed to create a kind of hopelessness in the person, but especially when the person doing the terrorizing is on the back foot, is the one retreating, especially when that's the case, all it does is just piss the soldiers off, and it leads to more brutality against your soldiers, right? Soldiers that would have been taken prisoner and then exchanged later and then rejoining your army, are just executed, are mercilessly killed, right? Because the soldiers just saw images of innocent Ukrainian civilians being brutally tortured and hung by the Russian military. I tell you, I wouldn't want to be, I said this before, I wouldn't want to be fighting in Iraq or Afghanistan when, the torture scandal came out about the United States torturing people. And like, I wouldn't want to be caught, I wouldn't want to be caught alive by my enemy. If my enemy knows that I've been torturing their people, put yourself in the soldier's shoes, right? That was one of the arguments that John McCain used to make against torture, right? Because he was fucking tortured. Not to excuse all of other John McCain's terrible policies, but he was dead right about torture. The man was 100% correct about torture. Who will supply the oil if not those two? I don't think Canada and the U.S. can meet the requirements and supply their allies. So that's a great question. Shorty, get to twitching. such an intelligent question for such a silly name. That's a great question, and that's a great statement. And it was like what I said. I think the Western alliances are aware that this is going to be a tough transition, but I think they're sick and tired of letting Russia get away with leveraging its barbarity with its oil business, with its oil market, right? Like I think like I said, I think the Western allies are like, let's rip the Band-Aid off. All right, Putin's doing us a favor here. People like Ukraine, they like defending Ukraine, and we can use this opportunity to hurt the market temporarily, and then set up a more strategically advantageous oil energy market that excludes Russia, or that tries to exclude Russia as much as possible. So I think, Shorty, I think they're not going to avoid an energy crisis. I think an energy crisis is here, and I think it's going to take several years for new suppliers, new deals to be made. Like, I think we're going to see Venezuela, all of a sudden start to get some friendly attention from the United States. And we might see the United States tapping some of its oil. I mean, we've already seen Joe Biden and the Joe Biden administration pushing back pretty heavily, pointing out that there's over 2,000 oil leases that are pending, that oil companies could start drilling today. They could start tapping those oil wells in the United States. The United States has approved those. They're good to go. They're literally good to go, shovel ready. You're approved. You can drill for oil here in the United States right here. The oil companies don't want to do that, though, for a very clear reason. More supply would lower the price. We can't have that. I'm making billions. We can't have that. So that's why they're not tapping those available resources. So we might see finally the oil companies getting enough pressure from the government to be like, tap these fucking oil wells, or I'm going to give them to a different company. I'm going to give them to BP. I'm going to give them to Shell. I'm going to give them to some foreign company to start drilling, unless you start drilling right now. And let me tell you, oh boy, they'd be there in minutes. Europe will survive this winter on its reserves. By next winter, they will dramatically increase their renewable energy resources. I don't think it's 1 year is not enough time to convert your oil-based energy infrastructure into a renewable one to make up for what the loss is going to be from Russia not selling their oil to them. 1 year is not enough. I think we're going to have another revolution or invasion in the Middle East soon. Yeah, what part? I think we're seeing that in Iran, but Iran won't fold. Well, I mean, we are seeing at least one step back. Making an announcement that they're going to dissolve the morality police. Are they actually going to do it is a good question. Did somebody say nuclear power? I agree with nuclear power. Is extremely heavily regulated nuclear power, right? if it's a private, if it's not a public nuclear power plant and it's a private nuclear power plant, then that private entity needs to be 100% responsible for the nuclear waste that is created for its entire existence. There needs to be a law set in stone that says if you are making profit and the end result of that profit is a barrel of nuclear waste, it is your job to pay for the proper storage of that, because there's no disposal. You don't dispose nuclear waste. You have to permanently store it somewhere for the rest of human existence, basically. So you need to pay for that, right? And you can't just throw them into some metal barrels that in 20 years will start leaking, right? You need to actually, so that's my big thing is I like nuclear power, but I feel like there's not enough pressure on these private nuclear entities to dispose of their waste properly, to store their waste properly. Because like I said, there is no disposing. You don't get to, there's no throwing this away. Is Saudi Arabia ramping up oil production? No, they actually made an announcement just recently saying they're going to be ramping down production because they want the prices as high as possible. It's a mafia. It's a fucking cartel, right? So no, they actually said they're going to be reducing so they can keep the prices high. It's all a big game. It's all a big game these oil companies are playing, and we're the suckers. We're the goddamn suckers, as usual. All right, everybody. Have yourself a good day. Peace in that motherfucking Middle East. Glory to the Ukrainian democracy. Motherfuck Trump and his calls to destroy the Constitution so that his ass can stay in power. Fuck KanYe West. And fuck your statements about I like the Nazis. Man, you're not going to see these nuts slapping you. I tell you what. They come out of the sky like a fucking peregrine falcon. So whoop. Don't forget to follow my 3-step program to create real political change. Step 1, inform yourself. You did it today. Congratulations. Step 2, join a progressive political organization in your area. And step 3, put in the work, because it's the only motherfucking thing that works. It's the only motherfucking thing that works. Join a union. Join an organization that is willing to protest and put their neck on the line to create real change and support politicians that leverage their vote. I'm abandoned nihilism. Get the motherfucker out in them streets. Have a good Sunday, y'all. You got it. Thank you, Lenny. Thank you for your support. It's been the News Underground, y'all. Fuck with my money, bitch.